All right, so think about this. The next time you're in a car in India, pretty much any car, there's a really good chance you're looking through a piece of glass made by just one single company. A total joint that's so, woven into the fabric of the country, you probably don't even know its name. Today, we're going to unpack the story of Asahi India Glass, or AIS for short. So when I say giant, what does that actually mean? Well, let's just start with this one number, 75%. That is AIS's market share in India's passenger car world. We're talking 3 out of every 4 cars you see on the road. Just let that sink in for a moment. That isn't just big, that is absolute dominance.
And how on earth did they get there? Well, it's because they're what's known as a fully integrated sand-to-solutions company. I love that phrase. It means that since they started way back in 1984, they've controlled the entire process. I mean, from the raw sand that makes glass, to shaping it, making it tough, and even installing the final product. That kind of control, well, it gives you a massive, massive advantage in the market.
But here's where it gets really interesting, because inside this glass empire, there's a kind of drama playing out. It's a tale of 2 totally different parts of their business. One segment is just absolutely crushing it, soaring high, and the other, well, it's kind of struggling to even stay on its feet. Okay, to really get what's going on, you gotta look at how they make their money. See this? In the last fiscal year, a whopping 61% of their revenue came from that car glass business we talked about. Now, the glass they make for buildings, the architectural stuff, that's still a big chunk, about 34%. But you can see how heavily they lean on the auto industry. And that, right there, is key to this whole story.
And boom, here's the problem in black and white. Just look at this. Between 2022 and 2024, their automotive business, its revenue shot up by an incredible 64%. 64%. But at the same time, their architectural glass business, it actually went backwards, shrinking by 1%. That's not just a little difference, folks. That is a massive divide.
So the big question is, why? What's causing this split? Well, on the car side, it's pretty clear. They've got that monster's 75% market share, revenues are exploding, and they're working with all the big names, Maruti, Suzuki, M&M, Hyundai, you name it. But then you look at the building side, their market share is way smaller, only 16%, and they're getting hammered by cheaper imports, which is forcing them to lower their prices, and, well, that's killing their revenue. So what's the move? What do you do when you're this huge company, but one part of your business is carrying all the weight while the other is dragging you down? Well, AIS decided to do something huge. They decided to make a massive strategic bet on themselves. And this is the size of that bet. Get this, 1,400 crore rupees. That's what they're pumping into a brand new, built-from-scratch float glass plant. Look, this isn't just a small factory tweak. This is a massive, bold play designed to solve their biggest problem, like right now.
So what's the strategy here? What's the thinking behind spending all that cash? It all comes back to that sand-to-solutions idea. It's about taking even more control. See, by building this giant new factory to make their own raw glass, they're doing 3 things at once. 1, they control their own supply of the most basic ingredient. 2, they don't have to rely on anyone else or worry about those cheap imports as much. And 3, this new fire hose of raw glass can fuel growth for both sides of the business, the car side that's on fire and the building side that needs a boost.
But wait, there's another really cool layer to this whole plan. It turns out this bet isn't just about getting bigger. It's also about getting a whole lot smarter and greener. They're actually building sustainability into the DNA of this new project from day one. And this is not just talk. They've actually signed a 20-year deal to get green hydrogen for this new facility. 20 years. On top of that, they're investing in their own dedicated solar plant to power the whole thing. This is a serious, long-term commitment to doing things in a much cleaner way. And while all this mega plant construction is happening, they're also making some smart, smaller moves on the side. To tackle that weakness in the building glass division head-on, they went out and bought the assets of another company, Balaji Building Technologies. It's a very targeted move designed to give their architectural business an immediate shot in the arm. It's like a pincer movement, attacking the problem from 2 sides. Okay, but a plan this big, this ambitious, it doesn't come cheap. And it certainly doesn't come without risk. You don't just spend 1,400 crores without some major financial consequences. And when you look at the numbers, that side of the story becomes very, very clear. Yeah, the price they're paying is right there in the debt figures.
To make all this happen, their total debt has ballooned from around 1,200 crore in 2022 to almost 2,000 crore just 2 years later. And, those bills have to be paid. They have to pay back over 360 crore next year alone, and another 260 the year after. So the pressure is really on. The stakes are incredibly high.
So if you had to boil this entire complex story down to one single idea, this is it. What we're seeing is a dominant market leader using its greatest strength, that powerhouse auto business, to fuel a massive debt-funded pivot. It's a pivot to fix its biggest weakness, take control of its own destiny, and do it all in a more sustainable way. And that leaves us with the big, multi-billion rupee question, doesn't it? Is this incredibly ambitious strategy a brilliant masterstroke, one that's going to build a stronger, greener foundation for decades to come? Or is it a massive gamble, a bet so big that it could shatter under its own weight if something goes wrong? I guess only time will tell.